Welcome to Live on 3 Second tutorial. In this video, we're going to be covering the basics of how to take a bomb site. This will not be an in-depth guide for every take on every map, just a general process involved in successfully seizing a bomb site, planting the bomb, and ensuring it goes. Before starting, take note that this is the first video in a multiple part series, including the soon-to-come videos, how to hold a bomb site, and how to retake a bomb site. Of course, in this video, we can only cover theory, and it would be beneficial to note that working together with teammates you know is going to be more effective than pugging. There's nothing more boring in Counter-Strike than playing a game where your entire team is just picking for frags. Playing against an opponent that knows how to hold a bomb site makes the strategy hard to pull off and more often than not ineffective. That being said, one guy with a plan on how to take a bomb site can be enough to push your team into that bomb site and win the round. There are many methods to setting up for a bomb site take. The most basic of the two would be a hard push, where the Ts try to rush a bomb site prior to the CTs getting into position. The second style would be a form of a site execution, where your team has gotten picks or made it to positions to run a smoke and flash execution on the bomb site. Now here are some questions you should ask yourself prior to taking a bomb site. What are you in line in reference to your teammates? If you are last in line, you generally don't want to flash your teammates. What utility nades do you have at your disposal? Does your team even have the utility nades to execute this take? Or should you work picks before committing? What are the most likely positions your opponents will be holding from? Are these positions easily flashable or smokable? What smokes and flashes need to be thrown prior to your entry to the bomb site to increase the chance that your site take is successful? Your team needs to communicate with each other prior to committing to a take. With experienced players, often there's no need to call out every nade that needs to be thrown, but if you have not mastered site executions, then you need to call out what's going to happen. The basic theory in site takes is to have your first player in the site with a gun at the ready. This is your so-called entry fragger. It is his job to clear as many angles as possible and try to get an entry into the site. The secondary job of the entry fragger is to be vocal. It is imperative that as an entry fragger, you are able to call out the spots where the enemies are as you are the first one into the site. The person behind the entry fragger is generally a support player that is looking to trade a kill. He usually throws a pop flash for the entry flagger, but more importantly follows the entry fragger closely with his gun up. If the entry fragger is clearing one position to the right, the support player behind him is clearing to the left or trading a kill after the entry fragger dies. The last three players in line are generally the people who set up support nades in the site, unless those support nades must be thrown early, i.e. a dust to B rush. These are the players who throw the most effective flashes in a site and follow up. Most often, a third player in line will be rushing closely with the last two. Now I'm going to go ahead and hop into a server of my own and show you how to execute on a site, both fast and slow paced. Alright guys, so I've went ahead and I've hopped into a server of my own. This is a private server, so I've got grenade tracers and everything. I just want to preface this part of the video by saying that right now this is at 1920 by 1080 in game. But normally when I play, I do play at 1024 by 768, which is a 4:3 resolution. I just switched to this so you guys have a clear image. So I'm going to give you guys the example of a rundown for taking a site on Inferno, which is a very popular and very common map, and is a bomb site that a lot of teams might have trouble with. So I'm just going to run down through the questions that I listed earlier in the video. So the first one was, where are you in line? Reference to your teammates. That's not much of a big one for this deal just because I'm by myself. If you were playing an entry fragger role, you might be up closer to mid, checking these corners, then quickly be ready to take on to the A site. If you're second in line, you'd be behind him, maybe throwing a pop flash over the Reaper or something like that. But that's not that big of a deal. So the second one is, what utility nades do you have at your disposal? And this is where the big part of Inferno comes in. So questions 2 and 3 are the big ones here. Question 3 is, what are the most likely positions your opponents will be holding from? And as you can see, when you come onto A site right here, the main points are that you're seen from like here, 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 back there. There's a ton of angles you're exposed to. And the main point is that you want to get rid of as many of these angles as you can by using smokes and flashes. So when you come around this corner, you're going to notice that there are elevation angles here, which means that you can be shot from a guy head glitching here, standing on the railing, so his head would be here, and also a guy who could be up here. So when you come around this corner, you have to go up and down, which is really difficult. And as you come around here, you check into the site, you can also be shot from your back because you're completely exposed to this side of the map. So this is where we've got to be smart and use our smokes to successfully take the site with relative ease. So for example, a very common A-side execution, the very first smoke someone would throw, I'm not going to show you guys these smokes, just take my word for it, you can see how I throw them in the video, would be throwing one like this. And what this smoke's going to do, is it's going to land and it's going to smoke off graveyard. Or sorry, pit. So that when you come around this corner, you can't be immediately shot from the guy sitting there. Also what this does is if you wrap the site around from arches and you come here, you can't be shot from a guy head glitching in the bottom of pit right there. The next smoke we're going to throw to further cut off the angles is this one right here. And this one's pretty good because it's going to go over the top. As you can see, it's going to land inside the truck. So what this does immediately is if we have our graveyard smoke up, sorry, pit smoke, when we come around this corner, we no longer have to check down here or in pit. Our immediate angle is up on balcony. So that once we come around this corner, all we have to worry about is taking off graveyard and taking off the site one at a time. And if we peek up like this, the smoke's down right here. So if we peek up like this, we don't have to worry about getting shot in the back because all of this is going to be smoked off. So this is a really good example of limiting angles by using smokes and flashes. So for example, flashes you can throw, you can flash over the roof like this. And this will blind anyone sitting in pit. As you can see, it pops right there. Anyone pit watching up here or anyone watching over here. The other two smokes, this one's really, really common. Everyone should probably know how to do this. Smoking the left side of mid. Now, that's really easy. What this does is just so when you come out like this, you're not in a, oops, hit my keyboard. You're not in a 180-degree angle, which is really bad. So smoking off the side of the mid, even if you don't know any of those fancy smokes I just threw, doing this alone is really, really helpful for your entire team. Besides that, I'm going to show you what the entire execution looks like really quick. So we have a guy throwing the pit smoke like this guy lining up here, and throwing this. So those two smokes have gone out from your teammates, and now you have successfully smoked off the site for taking in here. And now your only worries are people rotating from here and killing you, or people rotating all the way back around here and killing you. So if you're playing a map and you say, well, how do I stop that? You can come up with some fancy smokes. This is one of the smokes I came up with, just looking at the top of the roof, jump smoke, and then of course having a guy smoke left side mid. That was a bad smoke, but whatever. So you can wrap here, and what that smoke did is it landed in arches, so that anyone rotating off either gets cut off by the smoke, doesn't push through it, or you can just watch the smoke and kill him. So that's pretty much how you're going to go through your list and say, well, what smokes can I throw to make my site take more successful? How can I do this to make it more successful? Just come up with smokes, come up with flashes, think of something. I mean, you can do this for almost any map. For example, if you just go over to B, and let's say you've never thrown a CT smoke before, or you've never smoked off spools, just by the logic of running into the site, you're going to see, alright, well my main problem is that when I look at site here, I'm exposed to a 180-degree angle behind me, and that's really hard to make that flick. So you want to say, well, how do I get rid of that angle? I'm going to smoke off CT. Another 180-degree flick, you run to the site, guy here, so you're going to smoke off arches here. And then you might even say, well, there's another 180-degree flick here. But you're going to have multiple guys at this time, so it's not that big of a deal. And then all it takes is for you to go find a spot and say, well, where do I have to aim? Like, oh, I'm going to aim here. Oh, it falls too far left. And just go ahead and line up another smoke. For example, that one will land in CT. So it's just little things like this that help your game style and help your play. Even if you're playing a matchmaking game and you don't have the communication with your team, just go ahead and like call for something. Or if someone doesn't know a smoke, be like, alright, I'll take that smoke. Let's smoke it and take it. That's kind of like a set take. Now my example for a fast take would be if you're on a pistol round and you get in T-spawn, you guys buy Tech 9s or P250s, just run up mid, and you know that there's going to be a guy getting the boiler right now, so you can just come up mid like this, flash off this wall, and take mid fast. And they might not be here yet, you might catch them off guard, they might have a flash in their hand, and the whole point of this is to just get on the site as fast as possible. And that's pretty much that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. Subscribe if you learned something new, dislike if you didn't learn anything, like if you learned something. Comment below if you have any questions. Wes and I will be answering all of them. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future videos.